really is only room for one vehicle at a time down this little road. It's nicely undulating, and I have to go a little bit carefully on this one because the aftermarket exhaust, which is fitted to this car, and similar one on the Mark II, is quite low slung, so if you're not careful you can bottom out in one or two places here, and obviously I speak from experience. But anybody who tells you that Suffolk is completely flat needs to try cycling. It's not hilly, but it is undulating. And this road that we're on more or less forms the outer perimeter of Parham Airfield, and this was the 390th Bomb Group base during World War II, home to about 3,000 personnel at its peak, and it began life in 42, and of course by 45 it was all over. But the clues to its past dotted all over the place, from water towers to obviously the original aircraft hangar, control tower, and a number of ancillary buildings on the domestic side of the base, which we went past earlier, including the former cinema and hospital area. But if you come to this part of Suffolk, worth going to Parham Airfield because there's an excellent museum there which is open on Sundays and bank holidays, and beautifully laid out with a lot of artifacts from the American Air Force and its time at the airfield, but also to a local underground group of volunteers who worked in secret during the war and were intended to be the area's last defense against invasion, and that is certainly well worth a look at. So we can open up a little bit now, slip her into overdrive. Both these cars, you may notice I tend to declutch when I come out of overdrive. It seems to make for a much smoother down change. Going into overdrive, I don't use the clutch, but I tend to just lift gently off the throttle, not completely off, but just drop the revs, and the overdrive slides in beautifully. So we go left here, and this is the main Saxmundham Road towards Framlingham. Quite a fast road. If you look on the map, this is the B1119. car given the bends that we've got. Nice dry day. We're almost at the end of February, so it's still cold out, but temperature's well above freezing. And I've now got some heat into the engine and into the gearbox as well, so the gear changes are just that bit nicer. Down from overdrive, taking it down to 30, just going to speed limit, and then double declutch into third, and this is a fairly common sight, so agricultural vehicles, they get bigger each year, and so they take up much more room. And you notice it when they come through these old market towns, particularly where their cars parked. If you get stuck behind one of them, you've got a bit of a weight on your hands. So Framlingham was voted a few years ago as certainly in the top 10 of the most desirable market towns in England to live. I believe it once got the accolade of being the top, but I might have imagined that. A lot of buildings here which date back to the 17th century. There are some, including the castle, which are of course considerably older. So you've got one or two buildings which sort of go back to the 13th century and 12th century. Little river which runs through, which used to be navigable. We're just going over the bridge now. The town is really sort of built on the banks of the river, so the castle of course occupying the high ground, as you'd expect. This being the sort of lower part, and then you go right, come up the hill into the market square. And ahead of us is the church tower of St Mary's Church, which is absolutely beautiful, worth a visit, and a venue for some really great music. Some of you who watch the TV programme The Detectorists will recognise us as the location for quite a lot of the filming. And ahead of us is the castle. We'll just have a quick sort of drive up towards it, and then come through. So as you would expect, a lot of the earliest buildings exist at this end of the town, closest to the castle, and most of these are timber framed. So we're now going to go back the way we came in. I think we'll follow this road which will take us through Saxmundham and then on to the industrial town of Leiston,